Hey everyone, we are officially a week into August. How did this happen when? I don't know if I'm ready, but the Head Talk calendar is. Today I'm going to show you 5 awesome notebook ideas that you can use for back to school, your office, or just at home. Also, this video is part of a collab with my friend Jennifer from Generation DIY. She's awesome and we decided to team up to give you guys even more back to school ideas. So be sure to check out her channel and subscribe, and I'll link her video below. If any of you guys are new here, especially those of you coming from Jennifer's channel, hi, I'm Sarah. Nice to meet you. If you want to join the So Craftastic family, all you have to do is click the red subscribe button below, and it'll be extra helpful if you click the notification bell as well, because sometimes subscriptions mess up. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I try to get up 2 new videos per week. I post a lot of DIYs and artsy crafty videos, but I also do other things such as a boyfriend does my makeup video, which is coming very soon. So I hope you guys are excited for that, and if you do enjoy this video at any point, please give it a thumbs up to let me know. Now let's get into it. I don't know what this is. I do random hand movements here a lot. Let's go. For this first notebook design, I grabbed a handful of confetti and then I was rudely interrupted by my cat Leo. But I can't be mad at him because he's so cute, and it was just his birthday on Friday, August 4th. He turned 3 years old. I'm so happy to have him, even though he annoys me sometimes. After he was finished lounging around and knocking stuff off of the table, I proceeded to grab a few colors of the long streamers, and I'm going to cut those into very tiny little squares. This is a part that takes the longest, but it's totally worth it if you don't want to take the time to cut all these strips down into tiny pieces, because it does get tedious, as I mentioned. You could go to the store and just buy a bag of square confetti or whatever kind you want. It might be bigger, I don't know where they sell these really tiny ones, but it will still look cool either way. Now it's all cut and ready to glue on or Mod Podge on. I'm actually going to apply all the little confetti onto a piece of plain cardstock paper. If you want to skip that and just attach the confetti right to the front of your notebook, that's fine too, but I thought the color of mine kind of clashed, so I'd rather have the white under. I took a sponge brush, as you can see, and I am just putting an even coat of Mod Podge all over that, an even layer, and I'm sprinkling the confetti on. Now I do want to give you guys a tip. You don't want to apply the Mod Podge as you've seen me do here. Apply it in little sections because it does dry fairly quickly, and a lot of this confetti didn't even end up sticking on because I was like, oh yes, I'm going to cover the entire sheet so you guys can see it all. No, it didn't work. So anyway, yeah, just apply it a little bit at a time and it'll actually stick. After you pour on a bunch of confetti, not all of it will stick on, so you can just dump the excess off and repeat the process as many times as you need to until it is covered completely or almost completely, however you want it to be. And once you do have it to your liking, apply another coat of Mod Podge on top just to seal everything in, so it'll have less of a chance of getting ruined at school or your office or wherever you're going to use this notebook. After that coat has dried, I'm just going to stick the sheet of paper on the front of my notebook by using Mod Podge again. And if you don't have Mod Podge, you could use some type of glue or even clear tape to attach this, but I find that Mod Podge works best from my experience. For this one, I was really quick about applying the Mod Podge, so that's why I was able to do the entire front instead of working with little sections. So then I just stuck the paper down and I made sure to smooth it evenly so there were no bumps or bubbles in the paper. And I flipped it over and I'm going to trim off all the excess with a pair of scissors. Now my paper fits to the front of my notebook. I grabbed this pad of scrapbook paper that I got from Michael's a while ago, and it has this really cute page with little labels and quotes, so I chose this one that says "Life is good." I cut it out and I just Mod Podged that on, and I ended up kind of ripping the spine a little bit, so I'm taking a piece of white duct tape here and I'm going to press that on and fold it over to the back to disguise and just make it look more put together, I guess. And here is the completed confetti notebook. It's so much fun, and it's something that I haven't seen at the stores, so you'll have something that's pretty unique. Moving on to the second notebook, I am again using Mod Podge and a sponge brush to cover the cover, wow. And I am then going to apply this brown paper. You could use a brown paper bag for this. You could use any color of paper you want, honestly. This just came on a roll. It's kind of like a wrapping paper roll, and it is a little bit textured. I used it a while back when I did a giant ice cream cone piñata, So anyway, I just stuck that to the front and tried to get all the bubbles out and smooth it as well as I could. I flipped it over and cut off all the excess, you know, the same as last time. After letting the Mod Podge dry completely, I moved on to drawing a bunch of triangles in this corner here. And I'm actually doing it really fast for just video purposes, filming purposes, and I ended up not liking how this design turned out, so I did redo the triangles off camera. But I did find out that the easiest way to do this is to do kind of like a lopsided hexagon, so put 6 or 7 triangles inside, and it will kind of look like a Trivial Pursuit game piece. If you guys are familiar with that game, you put the little triangles in after you answer a question correctly. It's like pieces of a pie. Put the triangles on however you want to. This design is totally open to so many possibilities. And once you are happy with the design, you can go ahead and color that in with anything, really. I'm using Prismacolored pencils because they're my favorite, but you could also use another brand of colored pencils. I also recommend Crayola. You could use markers, crayons, whatever you want. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, if you end up using colored pencils and you're really meticulous about where the colors end up and not getting them next to each other and making sure that the color is very vividly applied, it's gonna take a long time. This took me, oh my gosh, I don't know, probably 4 hours. I didn't really time myself, but it took a long time. I do find that using 6 different colors made it a lot easier to not get the colors next to each other. Using rigid paper probably didn't help my case, so if you use smooth paper, that'll cut back your time a little bit. After coloring in a handful of the triangles completely, I found it easier to just go in lightly with the color and then darken them at the end. So that's another tip. Here's what mine ended up looking like, and I was really happy with it. It looks kind of like a mountain, a more whimsical, dreamlike mountain. I took some Micron pens and I wrote "Follow your dreams," as you can read here. I put a bunch of little tiny dots, and then I also drew a star. So to me it represents a shooting star, and you're climbing the mountain, which represents getting to the top and reaching the star to catch your dreams, or, you know, achieve your goals. For notebook idea number 3, I am using some contact paper, and oh my gosh, I've had these in my crafting collection for such a long time and haven't used them. 2 rolls are from the dollar store and 2 are from Michael's, I believe, so you can get this for fairly cheap. So you saw me stick it to the front of the notebook and just do the same basic thing where you cut off all the excess. Not hard at all. So once the cover of your notebook is completely, I'm trying to not say covered twice, hidden, I don't know, transformed, there we go. Anyway, I'm going to take some Sharpie permanent markers, and I'm using a wide variety of colors. P.S. I did make the pencil pouch. If you haven't seen the video on that DIY, I'll link it below. It is made out of duct tape. Back to this one, I put a plastic bag under the front cover, and then I am taking one Sharpie at a time, and I am just coloring strips or sections with those colors. So I started with yellow, green, blue, and I moved my way all the way down to the light orange. So it's kind of like a rainbow. After doing this, I'm taking a bottle of isopropyl alcohol, 91%, and this is also known as rubbing alcohol, and I'm taking a dropper and I'm just going to drip some alcohol in various places on the cover. You can definitely go back in and add more if it doesn't blend enough, so at first don't put too much alcohol or it will run ridiculously all over. I'm using the same technique here that you guys may recognize from my Sharpie bookmarks video, or even an older video where I did Sharpie watercolor paintings. I'll link that below as well if you haven't seen it. So after all the rubbing alcohol dried, which does take a couple minutes, I went back in with more ink in the sections that I thought needed a little bit more color pigmentation. Just make sure that it's completely dry or you could ruin your marker. And then I put more rubbing alcohol on top, and I even moved on to areas that already were dry, and I wanted to just expand the color a little bit more. Here's what it turned out like, and I think it looks awesome. And to spice it up a little bit more, I added glitter duct tape to the edge. Next, I'm going to turn this plain, boring notebook into one with a cute face on the front. For this, I'm using acrylic paint in a few different colors, and here I'm just sketching out where I want the face to be. I'm making a really cute panda on the front, as you can probably tell. So I drew on lightly some ears, eyes, a nose, mouth, and then at the very end I'll also put the little blush marks for the cheeks. For this, I'm using a very thin paintbrush and I'm filling in all the features of the face with a black acrylic paint. After that dried completely, I went in and put 2 little blush marks with pink acrylic paint underneath the eyes, and I also did fill in the pupils of the eyes, the white, with white acrylic paint just so it all matched. Make sure the paint is completely dry if you want to seal it and put a clear varnish, and for this I am again using clear Mod Podge. Clear Mod Podge, I think it's all clear. I'm using Mod Podge and I'm using the matte one, which means it's not shiny. If you want your cover to be more shiny, you can use gloss Mod Podge. And no, this video is not sponsored by Mod Podge. And here we have an adorable panda face notebook. So kawaii. For the final notebook, I'm using a colorful piece of scrapbook paper, and I am of course, wow, almost attaching it, but Leo interrupted me again. Thank you. Alright, now I am attaching it, and I'm making sure that it covers all the detail or design on the front of the notebook underneath, so that is not going to be visible. Trimmed off all the excess, and I'm going to be using dry erase duct tape for one of the features on this notebook. I took a little piece just as a guide, and then I'm writing days till summer. So it's going to be blank days till summer, and that part's going to be interactive, so you can write a countdown till your summer break, and every day you'll be one day closer, obviously, to freedom again. I know it just says summer and not summer break, but it's meant to be until break. It's actually still summer on my side of the globe. So yeah, I'm not saying that summer's over. I love fall fashion and the leaves changing colors, but I'm totally not ready for it yet. I just want summer to stick around for a while. I like the hotness. Let me know in the comment section below which notebook from this video is your absolute favorite, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up to let me know, please. And also check out these videos over here if you haven't seen them yet. And also check out Jennifer's back to school video and her channel, Generation DIY. I'll see you guys back here for my next video. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Bye! But the hedgehog calendar is. Was I even pointing at it? Right there.